Welcome in, everybody, to today's special interview. We have a special guest. It's me. Today, Mr. Mending Miracles is interviewing Mr. Mending Miracles. Why? Because so many people have been asking the story behind the channel and what this community means to me. So let's hop into this interview and see what Mr. Mending Miracles has to say. Question number one, Mr. Mending Miracles, what got you into Pokemon in the first place? Well, what originally got me into Pokemon was when I was younger, I collected. I was born in the 90s, so it's really nostalgia for me. I quit collecting from about the age of 8 until about now. And it wasn't until my brother was moving out and he was getting rid of his old collection. And I started seeing some of them cards and it kind of brought the memories back to me. And that's kind of what kicked it off. Question number two, Mr. Mending Miracles. When did Pokemon become important in your life? Pokemon really became a big part of my life and became important to me when I realized how much of an impact it had on the community. And when Pokemon communities just welcomed me in with loving arms, I felt a sense of belonging. And that's the moment that it became important for me because I knew at that moment I had a place that I belonged and I felt secure. I didn't feel judged. And it became important to me because I realized that the content I was creating through Pokemon, such a beautiful hobby, that it just impacted my life and I could impact others and connect with people through Pokemon. And that's what made it important to me. Question number three, Mr. Mending Miracles. What memories made it stick with you? The core moments and memories that really made Pokemon stick to me and really made me want to become more of a collector was when I started collecting. I started collecting in January and we don't have a big collection, but the collection we do have has every memory attached to it. Like every card from trading and pulling the cards out of a pack and getting it from a challenge from a fellow subscriber or a fellow local card shop. And that sense of connection, just that's what made the memories really stick to me, was that these cards are more than just cardboard. They have illustrations behind them, an artwork, a story to tell, and I could tell my story through that. And that's kind of what the memories stuck to me was. So my biggest memory was probably the Eastgate card show when we went out and we were handing out inspirational notes. And then there was a lady on the bench with her son, and we ended up giving her the poster that we had made that day. And we gave the young gentleman a Mew 151 EX from 151, and they were just so appreciative. And it really did my heart so much good. That's probably one of my best memories. And that card show was just amazing, and just seeing all the different walks of life, those are the memories that really stick with me. Now let's switch the topic. Why did you create your YouTube channel? Just to start, what really got me started as a YouTube content creator with the Pokemon niche and the stuff that I do was watching people like Deep Pocket Monster, Pat Flynn, PokéRev, Leonhardt, individuals like that. I really like watching Clover Cards and the trades. So like the hype content, but I also liked the nostalgia of it. I liked seeing the openings, and I started collecting the cards, and I just really enjoyed it. So I started my YouTube channel at first just to open packs, be a part of the collector. But it wasn't really until I started watching more of Deep Pocket Monsters, community building, and just what he did with community and how much he had grown and all the challenges he was doing. And then I started watching Connor TV when he was doing the Charizard challenge. And I was like, I could go do this too. And I love Pokemon. And then I started thinking and collaborating and figuring out ideas of how can I fit into this niche and provide the movement and mission that I'm trying to provide. And so these inspirations came from watching other YouTubers on YouTube. All right, question number two. Why did you choose the name Mr. Mending Miracles? The name Mr. Mending Miracles actually came from about 5 years ago. And I had met my wife and her kids, and I was doing different types of music videos. I was starting to record in my own studio. I built a studio out in the garage. It was so cool. It had like a hidden bookshelf and stuff. But I chose the name Mr. Mending Miracles because I was writing a proposal to open up a facility where people could come and learn trades, and they could learn about faith, and they could just, people that were facing challenges, people that were seen as bad apples, or, the mischiefs or outcasts, because that's how I felt when I was growing up. And I wanted to build a place where people could come and feel safe and learn something and become something and follow their dreams in life. So the name Mr. Mending Miracles was I went by Malachi the Great, and then I went by Malachi Dave and Guidance, and I tried to just tie those in together. And Mr. Mending Miracles was I want to help mend people. I want to help fix people that feel like they're broken and remind them they're not broken, that they only need to just learn. And I wanted to be the guidance in their life that they could learn from and be a role model. And the miracle part comes from my faith in God. And so Mr. Me being a Mr. and then mending miracles, I wanted to help mend people into miracles and let them realize and help them realize that they really are miracles and have so much to provide in life. So Mr. Mending Miracles, that's just kind of the story behind that and where that came from. All right, let's ask you another question. What message are you trying to spread with your content and your channel? The message that I'm really trying to get across through my channel and my content is that even though we may go through trials and tribulations and struggles like everybody does in life, even if we're suffering from disabilities physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it may be, whatever trauma that we may face, I've faced a lot of trauma in my life. So, Pokemon for me and what I create in these storylines and these PokéRaps is inspiration through creative arts. Through a creative aspect of a Pokemon hobby or a niche like the TCG trading game, because I see what the community and how they are connected, like how strong they are together. And so what I'm trying to really like put across is you can do anything you put your mind to. Even though I'm dyslexic, I jumble my words. By doing the Pokemon raps, I develop a skill to better use my words. And then when I interpret that, I can connect and communicate better. And then through the Pokemon storylines, it's to help people through suffering times. It's to help bring a brightness to their day because the world's becoming such a dark place. And I just want to bring light and illuminate people's life and show them that there's still joy and happiness in this Pokemon niche. That Pokemon is still a great hobby and it's not all about the big money and the hype and all that. That you can take a 25-cent card, a 1-cent card, put five of them together, 5 cents cards, and make a priceless moment that'll last for eternity. That'll stick with people and help them through their day and their struggles, whatever it might be, just to bring a smile to people's face. That's really what I want to do. I just want to bring joy and happiness and love and kindness and hope and joy to everybody through Pokemon because that's what Pokemon does for me. But I don't just see it as the word Pokemon, I see it as a Poke community. And that's the message I'm trying to get across is just you can do anything you put your mind to and there is joy and love in the world still. All right, let's ask you some questions about your content, Mr. Mending Miracles. How do you come up with the PokéRap lines? Everybody wants to know. So growing up, I actually did used to rap. I used to freestyle with my friends and stuff, and they really enjoyed it. And over time, I just kind of put that behind me and I changed my lifestyle. And now I see rap as real authentic poetry, and that's what I'm trying to put into the cards. So how I come up with these PokéRap lines is I'll take the cards, their card names, their attacks, or something that I've been through, and I try to integrate them together like you would in a poem or a rap song. And I try to bring the nostalgia back through the cards because somebody created these cards and they're very creative. They put their hard work into that. And some cards are just underrated because they're not a full art or illustration rare. So I wanted to bring back the nostalgia of every card and try to put them into a line, into a rap, and bring some hype around it. You know, it doesn't have to be big money cards to still have fun with it. All right, let's move on to your good morning storyline inspirationals for the Pokemon. How do you do that? So I go to local card shops and I pick up cards that I think have inspiration behind them and they have good wordplay within the cards themselves. I do like using the illustration rares because I know people like to see those, but I also like to use the underrated cards as well because I've always been an underdog and I root for the underdog. So I try to inspire others and raise disabilities awareness and stuff through the cards as well. Like join us today for the journey and train hard and be like Ash Ketchum or have a heart like a Clefairy, you know, or stay strong as a Lucario. And I do this to try to motivate people's days because I know people have hard work days. I know that people struggle in life. I know that people are going through all different walks and aspects. And even when people are in good moods, I just want to brighten up their mood even more. And Pokemon does that for me. So for the storylines, I try to find something I can relate to and something I would want to hear, and I try to interpret that through the cards. All right, one final question for this topic. Why are the Pokemon inspirationals so important to you? Well, the Pokemon inspiration stories are so important to me because I really feel people do need to hear them. I feel like people need a boost to their day, a boost of encouragement, because not everybody gets that. I know people come from hard families. I know people that are having hard workloads. And I just know that for me, I love to hear it. When I make an inspirational for the morning, if I don't feel it in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, like in my gut, that feeling that you just get like, man, I feel that. You know what I mean? That's when I know, and that's when I put it out there because it might save somebody's life to hear encouraging words. And I know growing up that if you don't speak what's on your mind and you're not speaking something that should be heard, you never know what you might say that could change somebody's life. That's why these Pokemon stories are so important to me. All right, now we're going to dive a little deeper and about your disabilities awareness. Some people have been asking about that. How does disabilities awareness tie into your content? So, disability awareness, I'm connecting that to my content by one, I suffer from PTSD, social anxiety, and anxiety. And that's due to past things in my life. And I know everybody goes through things. And sometimes it leaves an impact on your life where people can't see the mental things that happen to you. They can see it physically. And I want to raise awareness for that too. I watch videos where people are opening Pokemon cards that are amputees. I've seen videos where people are just so encouraging, and a lot of things just go unnoticed, or people aren't aware that people suffer from these anxieties and these traumas and these social anxieties. So I want to raise disabilities awareness through it, through the content and stuff like that, because we don't know what our youth's going through if we don't pay attention and if we're not aware of it. So I try to intertwine the Pokemon niche and stuff by building the community and that trustworthy community and helping people know that I go through these disabilities myself. I'm not just portraying and putting out there like, let's raise awareness for disabilities. I suffer from them myself, and people can't see the mental aspect of that. So I try to integrate my niche and my content for disabilities awareness so people could become aware, but also that they can do anything they want to, like I've said so many times. And that's kind of how the disabilities awareness connects to it, is because I suffer from it as well. And I create the content to raise awareness that, even though it's not seen, I'm here, I go through it, you're not alone. And now let me ask you this. Why is representation of this so important to you? Why the representation is so important to me is because I don't see a lot of people doing this kind of content in my niche or in my community. A lot of the videos I watch, not all of them, but some of them, I see a lot of videos of like just taking the enjoyment away from the hobby. And I believe that this hobby can create such a safe space and a welcoming space for people with disabilities. I believe that people with disabilities feel welcome here because they don't feel judged, just like me. I was so welcomed, and I love that, man. And that's what really did it for me. And representing these things, this disability awareness for this content is a huge goal and milestone for me because I just don't see a lot of people doing that. And I want to make people aware of these things through a fun hobby so it doesn't feel forced on you, or like you're being told what to do, or like you're part of this like awkward place, because I don't feel that way with the Pokemon community. All right, one last question for this topic. What message do you want people to hear? At the end of the day, the message that I really want people to hear is this. You can do anything you put your mind to. Whether it's Pokemon, whether it's out working, whatever job you choose, chase your dreams. Follow them. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do something, because you can do anything. Anything. Whether you want to be an astronaut and go to space, you want to be a Pokemon collector, Magic the Gathering, baseball lineups, a baseball all-star, go play for a sports team. Whatever you want to do, no matter what struggles you're facing, you can do it. Trust me, you can do it. I come from a long line of trauma and a long line of hardship, and I had to fight my way to where I am today. And I'm going to keep fighting for every one of you, and that's why I'm building this community, because I love all of you, and you guys have showed me so much support. And that's what I want everyone to hear, is that you are amazing people. Rather you're suffering disabilities that people can see or can't see. You can get through this, and we can get through this together. All right, Mr. Mending Miracles, let me ask you this. What is your community vision? What do you dream this community becomes? So for me, I just hope and pray that this community becomes a safe place where people could come and talk about the niche or the Pokemon or what they're going through, and know that they always have a safe place to come and they're not going to be judged and there's no biased opinions. That it's just a free welcome space to come enjoy content and share your life stories and be a part of the journey. What does this Pokemon community mean to you? So this Poke community means the world to me. It's not just numbers, it's not just videos, it's not just content daily. It's something I'm building, and I'm seeing people are actually engaging and liking it. And I hear people talking, people ask me, how do you come up with these things? How do you do these things? Why do you do it? And the short answer is this: because I love the community and I love everybody. I want to spread love everywhere I am. And the Poke community means to me growth, encouragement, and a place to just build who you are as a trainer and an individual. Okay, so let's ask you this. Why should people join your journey? Whether or not people join the journey is completely up to them. And that's where I say it's a free space, because I don't want to force anybody to do anything. But if they do decide to join, I just want them to join because they really enjoy the content. They really enjoy the space. They really enjoy what I'm bringing out into the world. And I want a community. I want to grow together, and I want to actually go out and meet people and go out into the community and go to the card shops and have pack battles and not worry about how much something costs and just have fun, because that's what the hobby was created for in the 90s to now, to have fun and a place to enjoy life. All right, now let's change up the pace a little bit, Mr. Mending Miracles. What's your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon would have to be Pikachu, because I started watching the actual Pokemon series back in the 90s when I was a kid. And Pikachu, he was the one that, like, he didn't get captured inside of the ball. He was Ash's right hand, He fought with Ash through it all and he stayed loyal. And I like the representation that Pikachu stands for. All right, now let me ask you, what is the favorite card that you own? So this right here would have to be the favorite card I own. I have a friend, he goes by DJ Afro. He's on Slimeball. I met him on Whatnot. And I always go on there and share inspiration, and we're always vibing up the chat. And he was always just so welcoming, and I see him as a friend even though I've never met him. And I was doing auctions on there and stuff like that to try to get cards for the content and stuff. And he sent me this card. And this is what I mean by it doesn't have to be $1 million card, because this card right here is priceless. It stays in my front display. He said Malachi the Goat on it and signed, dude. I mean, I love that. He would always share my PokéRaps on there, my inspiration, and say, man, we need more people like you in the community. And stuff like that is what pushes me to keep doing more content for you guys and for my channel and for the world, because stuff like this is cherished forever. That's a moment to never be forgotten. What's your favorite generation of Pokemon? So my favorite generation of Pokemon would have to be Phantasmal Flames, Mega Evolution, um, the Mega Dreams, Ascended Heroes. I really love the artworks in them. They're very vibrant. And I really love the creative artworks and the people that created those cards, the illustrators. I just think they're a great addition to the Pokemon niche. What was your hardest part of building the channel? The hardest part of building the channel for me is getting the cards to actually come up with the content. Because in order to keep fresh content, you got to have fresh cards. And a lot of the times, if I don't have fresh cards, I struggle because I have to try to come up with new content with the same cards I already have in a different format, in a different structure, in a different way. Also, one of the biggest challenges for me was acquiring the equipment to be able to do the editing and stuff like that to make it an enjoyable experience as well. I was using my phone and people were liking that as well. And then I had actually had that Charizard that I hit from Phantasmal Flames. And as I said, I turned that money into content to upgrade to a desktop, to get the CapCut Pro and stuff like that. And that made it easier to edit the videos. But I'm working across multiple platforms and I'm trying to do daily uploads every morning scheduled. I'm trying to do a PokéRap series every night. And I'm trying to think all these different ways while I'm also trying to structure it all in a way that's for the channel, and it fits the brand, and it fits the community, and it's family friendly, you know? And because I don't want to be vulgar, I don't want to be rude. I just want to bring nostalgia and love to my channel, and that's what I want to show people. So the hardest challenge for me is just creating that image of what I see in my mind into the cards, into the niche from the hobby, but also balancing the 6 7 balancing the different platforms and the different content daily, because I also work across multiple platforms. Creating content daily, is it hard for you? Creating the content daily for me really isn't a struggle. I have a very creative mind, and I stay very hyper focused on what I want to do, and this is my dream now. So I'm following my dream. The only hard part about coming up with the content daily, like I said, was coming up with the cards. Filing for disability and stuff like that, it's hard because I'm not financially there. So I'm going and picking up $3 of cards from the card shops and trying to make that into the best story I can and have the greatest impact I can with that amount of cards. And I can't do it with hype cards like everybody else. So creating the content daily for me, I just create the hype through the cards. You know what I mean? Mr. Mending Miracles. Have you had to deal with a lot of criticism? And if so, how did you deal with it? Being the content creator I am, and luckily with the community that I haven't really had a lot of criticism. The only really criticism I've had is trolls on the internet who just want to hate on your appearance or hate on your content. And the cool thing about YouTube and other platforms is you can put in keywords for comments and stuff, because I suffer from disabilities and stuff. So what people say really gets to me sometimes. So it's cool because you can filter out comments and you can set it to strict, and it'll moderate the different comments that come in. And also, I don't want a channel that's filled with negativity. So I just try to filter out all that negativity. So when people come to the channel and they're reading the comments and they're following along and want to be part of that journey, that they can be a part of that and not have to worry about the negative people in the world. So the criticism, mostly everybody's been liking the videos, and I haven't really had many comments yet. I'd really love to hear more from them, but from now I'm just getting a bunch of likes and people are joining the channel, which I'm okay with that. I love that. Thank you. But for me, the criticism, it hasn't really been there or not. So, yeah. All right, let's end it with this. Where can people find you? People can find me on YouTube, as my channel content there focuses more on Pokemon niche, disabilities awareness music, the PokéRap series, the Good Morning Inspirationals. You can also find me on TikTok, but I've shifted my TikTok more to my I write daily devotionals, and I read scripture from the Bible, and I share part of my testimony and how I've gotten through the struggles and how God's helped me through that. Instagram, and it's all Mr. Mending Miracles. So it's easy to find. On my Instagram, it's where I share my shorts and my highlights, the videos that I really enjoyed and I think people would enjoy, kind of like my top picks. And so that's where you can find me on my social media platforms. Also, you can find me in the local card shops. I'm always seeking out a local card shop. You can find me at the community events. I'm always there trying to bring out inspiration. So if you guys are ever looking for a good time or some inspiration, I'm usually at either like Top Loader, at the Hobby House, RLA Games, Time Warp, the Eastgate Trade Show, and I'm looking for more local card shops as well. So if you guys know of any, please let me know. All right, Mr. Mending Miracles. You told me at the beginning of the interview that you had something you written down, a message for the end of this interview that you'd like everybody to hear. Yes, I did, and I'll read that for you guys now. If you ever felt like you didn't belong somewhere, I genuinely hope that this channel becomes a safe place that you know you're always welcome to. Never being judged, and building the journey and PokéCommunity together and beyond. I truly love everybody and everyone from everywhere. I pray my content provides that message for you. If you believe in the mission, the movement, and the journey, please consider subscribing and join the PokéCommunity. Your friend and creator behind the scenes, Mr. Mending Miracles. Thank you for the interview, Mr. Mending Miracles. Let's see what the comments say, and hopefully your mission goes through. I really love what you do here, so let's make an impact together. I know I'm going to be joining. See you later.